Have you ever noticed that football boots used to be almost entirely black? Now look at a modern football pitch. Neon green, bright pink, electric blue, gold, orange. Some boots are so colorful they look more like racing shoes than football boots. But why did football boots change so dramatically? And is there actually a reason behind all those colors? For most of football's history, black boots were the standard. Classic boots were made from dark leather because they were designed primarily as practical equipment. They were heavy. They were durable. And nobody was particularly concerned about making them stand out. A footballer wearing black boots didn't need to advertise anything. The boot was simply part of the uniform. Then football began to change. As television transformed football into a global spectacle, footballers became celebrities. Fans didn't just recognize their shirts. They recognized their boots. And manufacturers realized something important. A football boot didn't have to disappear into the player's kit. It could become part of the player's identity. Suddenly, boots started appearing in colors that were impossible to ignore. Silver, white, blue, red, and eventually almost every color imaginable. Here's where it gets interesting. Color itself doesn't make a player faster, stronger, or better at controlling the ball. A neon boot doesn't magically increase acceleration. A red boot doesn't produce a more powerful shot. The technology underneath the color is what matters. The sole plate, the studs, the upper material, the weight, the fit. The color is mostly about something completely different. Visibility and perception. A football match is visually chaotic. There are players moving in different directions, changing speed, and competing for the same ball. A brightly colored boot can create a strong visual contrast against the green pitch. That doesn't mean a player can suddenly play better because their boots are bright. But it can make the boot more visually noticeable. And for manufacturers, that's extremely valuable. Because millions of people are watching. Imagine watching a football superstar score a winning goal. The cameras zoom in. The replay begins. Millions of viewers see the player's boots. If those boots are black, they may blend into the scene. If they're bright pink or fluorescent yellow, they immediately stand out. That creates a powerful advertising opportunity. The player is wearing the product. The television camera is showing the product. And millions of fans are watching. The boot has become part of the player's image. Then came signature boots. This became even more powerful when manufacturers began creating boots specifically associated with famous players. Speed boots became associated with speed. Control boots became associated with creative midfielders. Lightweight boots became associated with explosive attackers. The color became part of the story. A particular shade could instantly remind fans of a specific player or generation. And suddenly, buying the same boots as your favorite footballer wasn't just about equipment. It was about becoming a little more like them. Footballers are creatures of habit. They often have very specific preferences about their boots. Some players want a particular shape. Some want a specific material. Some refuse to change a model they've worn for years. And some become attached to a particular color. Why? Because confidence matters. If a player feels comfortable and familiar in their boots, that can become part of their pre-match routine. The color itself isn't giving them extra ability. But the feeling associated with the boot can become psychologically important. It's similar to a lucky routine. And that's why you'll still see professional players wearing black boots. For some players, black looks traditional. For others, it's about simplicity. Some don't want their boots to attract attention. And black boots can actually communicate something very different from brightly colored boots. Instead of saying, "Look at my boots," they say, "The football speaks for itself." Manufacturers have even created modern boots that combine classic black designs with extremely advanced materials underneath. So the old look has never really disappeared. The biggest change wasn't actually in football technology. It was in football culture. The sport became global. Players became brands. Television made every detail visible. And boot manufacturers realized they could sell much more than performance. They could sell speed, style, personality, and even the feeling of playing like a superstar. That's why today's football pitch looks so different from the football of 50 years ago. The boots didn't just become more colorful. They became part of the show. So the next time you see a footballer wearing an unbelievably bright pair of boots, remember this. They aren't necessarily wearing them because the color makes them better. They're wearing them because modern football turned the boot from a piece of equipment into part of the player's identity. And sometimes, the brightest thing on the pitch isn't the football. It's the boots.